All right, so you want to hear about Banksy, huh? This art world phantom who's been flipping the bird to the establishment for like, what, decades now? Let's cut the crap and dive right into this shitstorm, see what's what. We got a stack of intel here, most of it's from that Wikipedia rabbit hole, and let me tell you, this shit's wild.
It really is amazing how Banksy's managed to stay completely anonymous while becoming like this global phenomenon. It just goes to show the power of their art, and the message behind it.
Yeah, it's almost like this whole mystery thing is a big part of their shtick, right? Like, are
Yeah.
they genuinely shitting themselves about getting caught, or are they just milking this anonymity for all it's worth?
It's tough to say for sure. I mean, who knows what's going on in their head, right?
Yeah.
But it definitely adds to the whole mystique, that's for sure. They've been active since way back in the 90s, started out in the Bristol underground scene, working alongside other artists, musicians, that whole crew.
So this wasn't like some overnight success story, huh? They had to pay their dues, grind it out in the trenches first.
Exactly, yeah. Banksy kind of evolved alongside that whole Bristol scene. Started out doing freehand graffiti, like a lot of those guys, but then transitioned to using stencils, which became their signature style. And that shift to stencils, that was a calculated move. It allowed them to work faster, which is probably pretty handy when you're trying to dodge the cops, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Got to be quick on your feet when you're basically a glorified vandal.
Haha, yeah. There's actually this story about Banksy hiding from the police under a rubbish lorry. Can you believe that? Maybe that's where the whole stencil inspiration came from.
Hiding for the fuzz, classic origin story right there. But how did this Banksy character, how did they go from spraying rats on walls in Bristol to having their shit sell for millions? Like, what the hell happened there?
Well, their early exhibitions definitely played a role, like that turf war show. Remember that one? They actually painted on live animals.
Oh, wait, hold up. Painting on live animals. What kind of fucked up shit is that?
Yeah, it definitely caused a lot of controversy, but the RSPCA said the animals were treated well. Still, stunts like that, they got people talking, generated buzz. And then there were those fake 10-pound notes with Princess Diana's face on them. Remember those? It was like poking fun at the monarchy, the whole celebrity obsession thing.
Oh, yeah, those were brilliant.
Yeah.
Saw them on eBay going for a ridiculous amount of money. Some people will buy anything, huh?
Tell me about it. And then you have the insane prices that their art fetches at auction. Hundreds of thousands, even millions of pounds for a single piece. It's mind-boggling, really.
Talk about a cash cow. This Banksy's laughing all the way to the bank, I bet. But, okay, let's get down to brass tacks here. What's all this art actually about? I mean, yeah, it looks cool, but what's the message? What's this asshole trying to, like, shove down our throats?
Well, Banksy's work, it's full of social and political commentary. They're anti-war, anti-capitalist, anti-establishment. Basically, they're giving the middle finger to anyone in a position of power.
So, like your typical pissed-off artist, huh? But what makes Banksy different? Why are they so goddamn famous when every other art school dropout is doing the same crap?
It's the way they blend those heavy themes with humor and satire, They take these serious, complex issues and make them accessible, thought-provoking, and sometimes even funny.
Give me an example, something that shows this fucker's, brilliance.
Take napalm, for instance. That iconic photo of Kim Phuc, the Vietnamese girl running naked after a napalm attack? Banksy took that image and placed her right next to Ronald McDonald and Mickey Mouse, all happy and smiling. It's like this brutal commentary on war and corporate power, but it's presented in a way that really stops you in your tracks.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean. It's like using humor to make a point, right?
Yeah.
It's forces people to confront something that's really uncomfortable.
Exactly. Banksy also did a lot of work on the Israeli West Bank wall, creating these images of ladders scaling the wall, kids digging under it. It's really powerful stuff that challenges the whole idea of separation and confinement.
Okay, this guy's got balls, I'll give him that. They got a message, and they're not afraid to shove it in your face. But Wikipedia also mentions some crazy stunts. What's the deal with sneaking art into museums? Do they actually pull that off?
Oh yeah, multiple times. Banksy managed to get their pieces into MoMA, the British Museum, some of the most prestigious art institutions in the world. It's like they just blend in, pretend to be a regular visitor, and bam, instant notoriety. It's like playing a giant game of fuck you with the art world elite.
And speaking of fuck you, tell me about the elephant. Now that shit was legendary.
Ah, yes, the Barely Legal exhibition in Los Angeles. Banksy painted a live elephant, pink and gold, to draw attention to world poverty.
Of course, the animal rights people lost their goddamn minds, right?
They weren't exactly thrilled, to say the least. But like most of Banksy's stunts, it generated a ton of buzz. And that's kind of their signature move, isn't it? Provoke, disrupt, get people talking.
And rake in a shitload of money while they're at it. Let's be real. This Banksy's a marketing genius. Pure and simple. But what do other artists think about this whole Banksy phenomenon? Are they, like, riding his dick? Or do they think he's a talentless hack?
Banksy has definitely divided the art world. You've got some critics who praise them as this visionary genius, while others dismiss their work as just plain vandalism.
So is it art? Or is it just some asshole with a spray can? What's the verdict?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
More like a multi-million-dollar question, given what people are shelling out for this guy's work.
Yeah, you got that right. But what's undeniable is that Banksy's had a massive impact on how street art is perceived. They've helped elevate it to a legitimate art form, whether those snooty art critics like it or not.
Okay, so this guy's stirring the pot, making everyone question the rules. But there's still a goddamn ghost. How do they manage to stay hidden when, like, everyone and their mother is trying to unmask them?
I guess that's the beauty of it, right? The mystery keeps people guessing, and it just adds to the fascination. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Banksy managed to keep their identity a secret forever.
Well, if anyone can pull it off, it's this elusive bastard. Now, Wikipedia mentioned something called the Cannes Festival. What the hell was that all about?
So the Cannes Festival was this massive street art event, like a huge gathering that Banksy organized in London. This was back in 2008. They basically found this abandoned tunnel and were like, hey, let's turn this into a giant art space. Invited artists from all over the world to come and, do their thing. It was this crazy celebration of graffiti and street art and, really solidified Banksy's rep as a major player in the art world.
So wait, this fucker wasn't just content with spraying walls on their own? Decided to, like, bring the whole damn party to town?
Pretty much, yeah. The Cannes Festival was like a testament to Banksy's influence and their desire to make street art a legitimate art form, It wasn't just about vandalism anymore. It was about pushing boundaries, challenging the status quo.
Okay, so we've covered the early days, the rise to fame, all the political jabs and stunts. But Wikipedia also mentioned some other crazy shit, like, what the fuck is Dismal Land? Sounds like some Disneyland for, like, depressed asshole.
It kind of was, actually. Dismal Land was this, well, they called it a bemusement park that Banksy created in England back in 2015. It was this twisted, darker version of Disneyland, full of these warped Disney characters and attractions, like a parody of the whole happily ever after thing.
A carnival of misery. Sounds right up my alley. Seriously, though, what was the point of all that? What was Banksy trying to say with this Dismal Land thing?
Dismal Land was... well, it was social commentary at its finest, like a giant middle finger to the manufactured happiness and, the whole consumerism bullshit that we're bombarded with constantly. It forced people to confront the darker side of our culture, the stuff we usually try to ignore.
Deep shit for a guy known for painting rats and monkeys. But that's what makes Banksy so interesting, right? One minute they're making you laugh, the next they're punching you right in the gut.
Exactly. Banksy's a master at mixing humor, social critique, and artistic skill. It creates this work that's both entertaining and thought-provoking.
Speaking of thought-provoking, Wikipedia also says that some people think Banksy's a fraud, a copycat who steals ideas from other artists. Is there any truth to that? Like, are they just riding on someone else's coattails?
There have been these comparisons to Blek Levrot, this French graffiti artist who was doing the stencil thing way back in the 80s. And yeah, there are some similarities in their style, but, every artist draws inspiration from what came before, right?
Yeah.
It's how you build on those influences that matters.
So is Banksy just a Blek Levrot ripoff, or do they bring something new to the table?
Banksy was definitely influenced by Blek Levrot. But they've taken that stencil technique and made it their own, developed a unique visual language. And let's not forget, they've gone way beyond just stencils, right? Installations, sculptures, even films. They're a multimedia artist, not just some one-trick pony.
All right, so maybe this guy isn't a complete hack after all. But what about all this controversy around who actually owns their art? Wikipedia talks about some legal battles and shit. What's that all about?
It's a tricky situation, to be honest, because a lot of Banksy's work appears on public property, walls and stuff. It raises questions about ownership. Like, can someone just come along, cut a chunk of wall out of a building, and sell it? It gets into this murky area where private property rights clash with the whole nature of street art.
So this guy's trying to, like, stick it to the man, but the man finds ways to profit off his work anyway. That's pretty ironic, right? But let's talk about that self-destructing painting. That shit was just wild. Like, what the hell was going on there?
Love is in the bin. That was the ultimate Banksy power move. This painting sells for over £1 million at Sotheby's and then bam, this shredder hidden in the frame starts eating the damn thing right there in the auction house.
I bet those art snobs nearly shit themselves.
Oh, it made headlines all over the world. Some people called it a publicity stunt. Others said it was like this brilliant commentary on the absurdity of the art market.
But why destroy your own work after someone just dropped a fortune on it? It's like setting a pile of cash on fire.
Banksy later released this video explaining that they had rigged the frame years earlier, just in case the painting ever went up for auction.
So it was premeditated art world sabotage. This fucker's playing 4D chess.
Yeah.
But seriously, what was the point?
I think it was a powerful statement about how we assign value to art. Like, by destroying the painting at the exact moment it reached peak market value, it's like Banksy was saying something about the fleeting nature of value and how ridiculous it is to treat art as just another commodity,
And of course, it just adds another layer to the whole Banksy myth, right? The mystery, the stunts, the social commentary. This guy's like a performance artist, but their stage is the whole damn world.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Banksy's art goes beyond the traditional gallery space and spills out into the streets, forcing us to interact with it on our own terms, whether we like it or not.
All right, so we've talked about the early days, the controversies, all the crazy stunts, the self-destructing painting. But what about their more recent work? Has this guy mellowed out with age? Or are they still stirring the pot?
Banksy's still out there creating thought-provoking work that tackles current social and political issues, like Season's Greetings, for example, which popped up in Wales a few years back. It was this image of a kid catching snowflakes on their tongue on one side of a garage wall. But then when you see the other side, you realize the snow is actually ash and smoke from a burning dumpster.
Damn, talk about a gut punch. Pretty heavy stuff for a Christmas-themed mural.
Yeah.
But I guess that's Banksy's style, right? Always finding the darkness lurking beneath the surface of everyday life.
Exactly. And that's what makes their work so compelling. It's not just surface-level provocation. There's always these deeper layers of meaning waiting to be unpacked.
Okay, so this guy's still got it, the sharp wit, the social commentary, and the talent for getting under people's skin. But let's circle back to the elephant in the room, shall we? The mystery of Banksy's identity. We've got all this info about their work, but we still don't know who the hell is behind it all.
It's the question that's been haunting the art world for decades. Who the fuck is Banksy? There have been countless theories, investigations, wild goose chases, but so far, they've managed to stay one step ahead of everyone.
Yeah, but everyone's got their breaking point. Maybe someone's sitting on a photo of this fucker without their mask, just waiting for the right moment to cash in.
It's possible, sure, but a part of me hopes the mystery never ends. The anonymity is such a big part of the Banksy mythos. It allows them to work outside the traditional art world structures and keeps us all guessing.
All right, I get that. The less we know, the more we can, project our own ideas onto this blank canvas, right? Banksy becomes a mirror, reflecting our own hopes, anxieties, and fascination with the unknown.
That's a very insightful way to put it.
Hey, I have my moments.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time picking apart this guy's work and speculating about their identity. Let's get back to the art itself. What do you think is the most important thing to take away from Banksy's work? What message are they trying to send?
I think Banksy wants to wake us up, to make us question the systems and structures that we take for granted. They're highlighting injustice, hypocrisy, the absurdity of the modern world, and they're doing it in a way that's both subversive and entertaining,
So Banksy's a rebel with a cause, a provocateur with a paintbrush, a goddamn enigma wrapped in a stencil.
Yeah, something like that.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one burning question that remains. Will we ever know the true identity of this art world phantom? Will we ever, unmask this art ninja, Is Banksy going to pull a goddamn Scooby-Doo and reveal themselves in the end? Or are they just going to stay shrouded in mystery forever?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I honestly don't have a clue. Part of me thinks they'll take the secret to the grave just to fuck with everyone.
Yeah, that would be the ultimate power move, to leave the whole world hanging, even after they're gone. But hey, maybe that's the point, right? Maybe it doesn't even matter WHO Banksy is. Maybe the art speaks for itself.
That's a good point. The mystery, it definitely adds to the intrigue, but in the end, it's the work that really matters. The messages, the images, the impact it has on people, that's what's going to last.
Right. It's not like some trust fund kid who needs to, slap their name on everything they touch, Banksy's built this whole career, a brand, an entire mythology, really, around being anonymous. And it's working like a charm.
Exactly. It's almost like a performance art piece in itself. The art, the mystery, the speculation is all part of this Banksy experience.
Okay, so Maybe we'll never really know who this fucker is, but we can still appreciate the art, the message, and the balls it takes to pull off some of this shit.
Yeah.
What do you think? Any final thoughts on this whole Banksy phenomenon?
I think Banksy's legacy, it's going to continue to evolve. People will be talking about them and debating their work for years to come, that's for sure. Whether you love them or hate them, you can't deny that they've left a mark on art and culture, made us laugh, made us think, and shown us that art can be this powerful tool for social change.
Well said. They've definitely gotten people talking, that's for sure. And that's more than you can say for a lot of artists out there. So there you have it, folks. The lowdown on Banksy, the art world enigma who's been baffling and infuriating the world for decades now. We may never know who they really are, but one thing's for sure. They've made their mark, and they're not going away anytime soon.
And who knows, maybe they're listening to this right now, laughing their ass off at us, trying to figure them out.
Maybe. But even if they are, they can't deny that we gave them one hell of a deep dive. All right, until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those stencils. And remember, sometimes the best art is the kind that makes you think, makes you feel, and makes you question everything you thought you knew. Peace out.